Steve Jobs wasn't born into wealth, nor did he follow a conventional path to success. But what he created changed the world. His story isn't just about building Apple, it's about vision, failure, obsession, and relentless belief in the impossible. Born on February 24th, 1955 in San Francisco, he was adopted at birth by Paul and Clara Jobs. From an early age, he displayed a deep curiosity for electronics and mechanics. He wasn't obedient, but he was brilliant, the kind of intelligence that doesn't obey the rules. He dropped out of college after just one semester, but never stopped learning. He attended calligraphy classes purely out of fascination, and years later, that seemingly random interest would influence the elegant typography of the Macintosh. In 1970, Jobs co-founded Apple with Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne in a modest garage. They had no money, no network, just a bold idea to bring computing power to everyday people. That garage became ground zero for a digital revolution. But Jobs wasn't an easy man to work with. He was intense, obsessive, and brutally demanding. He didn't care about titles or feelings. He cared about excellence. He pushed people, often too far, because he believed good wasn't good enough. He wanted to make something perfect. In 1984, Apple launched the Macintosh. It was revolutionary, a graphical interface, a mouse, a beautiful design. But behind the scenes, Jobs clashed with colleagues in the board. By 1985, at age 30, he was forced out of the company he had built. Most would have crumbled. Jobs didn't. He started a new company, Next. The products were beautiful and ahead of their time, but commercially unsuccessful. Yet the operating system developed at Next later became the foundation for Mac OS. At the same time, Jobs purchased a small animation studio from George Lucas. He called it Pixar. Most dismissed it as a risky bet, but under Jobs' leadership, Pixar revolutionized animation with the release of Toy Story in 1995. It was the first fully computer-animated feature film and a massive success. Pixar's legacy would go on to redefine modern cinema. Meanwhile, in 1997, Apple was in trouble. The company was losing money and direction. It was on the brink of collapse. In a bold move, Apple acquired Next and brought Jobs back. What followed was one of the greatest comebacks in corporate history. He returned with focus and ferocity. He cut unnecessary projects, restructured the product line, and rebranded Apple as not just a tech company, but a lifestyle. The iMac was the first symbol of Apple's rebirth. It was colorful, stylish, user-friendly. Then came the iPod, 1,000 songs in your pocket. Then iTunes, then the MacBook, then the Apple Store. Jobs was reshaping the way the world interacted with technology. Then, in 2007, Apple unveiled the iPhone. It wasn't just a phone, it was a revolution, a touchscreen device that combined music, calling, and internet into one sleek object. It changed everything. Communication, commerce, creativity, all transformed by a single product. And yet, Jobs wasn't done. In 2010, he introduced the iPad. Critics mocked it, but it quickly became a new standard for portable computing. What separated Jobs from others wasn't just ambition. It was his relentless attention to detail. He obsessed over fonts, weights, gestures, packaging, everything. His core belief that great technology should feel personal, intuitive, and beautiful. And while he wasn't a coder or an engineer, he had a unique ability to connect art and science, intuition, and data. He could see the future and he dragged it into the present. But behind the scenes, he was fighting a private battle. In 2003, he was diagnosed with a rare form of pancreatic cancer. He kept it hidden from the world, seeking alternative treatments while continuing to lead. Even as his body weakened, his mind stayed sharp. He appeared on stage. He led product launches. He inspired millions. His vision never wavered. In his final years, Jobs remained deeply involved in every Apple product. He oversaw the tiniest details. He pushed for perfection. He worked until he no longer could. On October 5th, 2011, Steve Jobs passed away at the age of 56. But he left behind far more than gadgets. He left behind a legacy of innovation, courage, and uncompromising vision. He showed the world that you don't have to follow the rules to succeed, that being different isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." He meant it. He lived it, fearlessly, boldly, fully, and because he did, he changed the world. He gave us more than devices. He gave us belief that one person with vision, grit, and a refusal to settle can truly shape the future. And that's the real story of Steve Jobs. Not a perfect man, but a relentless one. If this story inspired you, even just a little, subscribe to Millionaire Moves, because here we don't just admire success, we learn from it. We tell the real stories of those who dared to think different. Maybe your story is next.